hot water's real. And if you raise the great balls of fire.
That's Jerry Lee Lewis singing Great Balls of Fire, and you're not going to find him lighting that piano on fire. In fact, you'd be really hard-pressed to find any video of him lighting the piano on fire, which isn't to say it didn't happen. If it happened, and I'll stress if, it happened one time, either in Brooklyn or in Ohio in 1958. Talking to Rolling Stone in 1979, he went on about how much he loves pianos, like puppy dogs, and he would never do anything to hurt them. I'm exaggerating, but that's okay given who we're talking about. The truth is slippery. It's Billy Dukes, and you'll see what I mean in just a second, but by the end of this video, you're going to come to a definitive conclusion about whether or not the piano fire happened, and learn the story behind another equally epic story of piano abuse that is true. Tap the subscribe button if you appreciate original country music news and analysis, and then make a bet right now in the comment section below. Real? Not real? I want to know what you think. All versions of the story, including the one in an authorized biography called Jerry Lee Lewis, His Own Story, go something like this. In 1958, at the height of his rock career, he was on tour with Buddy Holly, the Chantels, and Chuck Berry, and the show's promoter decided that Berry would close the show. Jerry did not like this one bit, and I'll recycle this clip of Hank Williams Jr. talking about Jerry to make the point.
He also taught me that entertaining takes more than skill. Jerry Lee doesn't walk on stage and politely thank an audience for being there. No. Yeah, Jerry Lee doesn't ask for your attention, he demands it.
So, as either a way of proving he was the ultimate showman, or to destroy a necessary instrument and end the show, he pulled a Coke bottle filled with gasoline out and poured it all over the piano during Great Balls of Fire. Then he lit a match and watched it burn, although some accounts even say that he kept playing, but we're going to gloss over details like this and what he might have said to Berry afterwards. It was something like, "Follow that," although some accounts include his use of the N-word. Chuck Berry never talked about this, which is really important, but I'm going to pin this for a second and pivot to another great piano story. I promise this will all pay off in a second. During a 1979 interview with Rolling Stone, Lewis says he once pushed a piano into the ocean. Quote, "They tried to give me the busted piano that wouldn't play. I pushed it off the stage, across the dance floor, out the door, and then I played it on the sidewalk and pushed it into the ocean." That lines up with the piano fire story, except that later in the same article he adds, quote, "If I did, I swear I don't remember it. A lot of times people make up things, and I just go along with them." Huh? This is part of the issue with the fire story. There's no one to verify it. Buddy Holly died a year later, but promoter Alan Freed and Chuck Berry lived long enough to tell the story if there was one to tell. GQ did a pretty brilliant dissection of this tale in 2014 after reading the previously mentioned biography, including an addition from Jerry's daughter, Phoebe. She hears her dad repeat the story and asks, "Then why do you sometimes say you never burned the piano?" Quote, "Well, that's what people want to hear. I want them to think I'm a good boy." Alright, Jerry Lee Lewis was a lot of things, but no one thought he was a good boy. Drugs, guns, arrests, a child bride, polygamy, all of these sins are on record and documented, many with police reports. According to the article, Jerry was once quoted as shouting at his wife, "Will you quit doing that, woman, or do you want to end up like the other two?" 2 of his 7 wives died very suspiciously, and a journalist even went as far as to suggest that he was responsible. But, like with so many things, the truth about all of this is very murky. Okay, I'm going to tie a bow now, and I really appreciate you sticking with me here. The Rolling Stone article continues to find the reporter with Conway Twitty at a party celebrating Lewis sometime in the 70s. Conway approaches Jerry and brings up a show that they were on together at the Peppermint Club in Miami once upon a time. He'd heard about how hard Jerry was on pianos, so he told the owner of the club, and the owner went out and bought a crap piano so his good one didn't get destroyed. This is all first-person account now. Jerry, quote, "took one look at the piano, kicked it off stage, onto the floor. He kicked it all the way out of the building, across the parking lot, into the water. The ocean story happened, or at least it has a third-party witness. You can't find the same about the fire story. In fact, GQ found the exact opposite. Reporter Chris Heath asked Phoebe to call her grandfather, who was Jerry's bassist at the time. He was also his father-in-law. It's all kind of intertwined, don't ask. Anyway, together they got J.W. Brown on the phone and asked, "Did my daddy set the piano on fire or not?" Quote, "No, he ain't never set no piano on fire. He tore a lot of them up." He goes on to explain that he thought the myth grew from a TV show that they were on, during which a flame was primed to shoot up right when Jerry sang the line, "Great balls of fire." Do you remember that video of Jerry singing that we showed you at the very beginning of this video? If you watched the very end, you'll find this. I'm Billy Dukes with Taste of Country. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing.